Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaylin and this is Full Purpose and Heart. Now, when I first started this channel 2 years ago, my very first video was our preschool curriculum. And I've kind of been following along because he was my oldest child, and now that he's in first grade, I realized that so much has changed. I have learned so much about homeschooling and teaching and organizing that I wanted to do a video for my preschooler as well. And I know that lots of moms out there who are watching my channel are just starting out, so I wanted to share with you things that I am doing for my second preschooler. All right, so I am just gonna jump right into this and talk about some things that we're gonna be doing for this school year. Now, when I first started teaching homeschool, my desire to jump just 2 feet in, whole hog, just buy anything and everything that was gonna help me through this school year was raging. And I ended up doing a lot of things my first year that I probably am not gonna do this second time around. Now, I teach preschool on the side as like a hobby. So my preschooler is a very young preschooler. She started preschool when she was 1. Well, she was almost 2. She's a fall birthday. But so she's already had 1 full year of organized preschool because I teach preschool with other children. And she wanted to be a part of that, and she wasn't napping, so I just let her be a part of it. So bearing that in mind, my daughter will almost be 3 when she has her birthday, so she's a fall birthday. And I'm putting her in my preschool class. She already knows all of her letters, many of her letter sounds, not all of them, but many letter sounds. She knows what a vowel is versus a consonant. She knows all of her numbers, and not just knows them, but she can recognize them, letters and numbers, okay? So she's quite a bit more advanced for a preschool aged child. If your child is not there, then in watching this video, you might be like, whoa, she's really jumping in. But I will say my daughter, although she is young, she will be part of the school class, and I'm using the same curriculum for all of my preschool students. So whether they are a fall birthday and will be a 5-year-old preschool student, I have all solid 4-year-olds this year, preschool students. I think that this is a pretty fluid, manipulative, flexible curriculum that can be used for all ages. So that being said, I know I said I was going to jump right into it and then I made that little disclaimer, but this is what we're going to be doing, okay? So to start my preschool year, I always lay out all of the weeks that I'm going to be doing preschool, and I put a letter, I assign a letter for that week, and then I assign a theme for that week. Now, the theme that I teach isn't necessarily what I incorporate all of my activities around. Sometimes the letter doesn't have anything to do with the theme. I'm just teaching the letter that week. And sometimes it does correlate. For example, when we do pumpkins or the life cycle of a pumpkin, I would do the letter P in theory, okay? Now, when I taught preschool my very first year with my son, I did the Letters of the Week program, a curriculum that's distributed by Confessions of a Homeschooler, and her Letters of the Week is letter A is apple, therefore all of your activities have to do with apples. The shapes are all apple shapes. You're doing puzzles that are apple puzzles. Everything is apple. Do you understand? So that's how I'm doing it different this year. Same as I did last year, is that my letters and my theme do not necessarily go all together, nor do all of my activities based completely around the theme. What my theme is when we have our group learning time, this is what we're learning. It could be, you know, fantasy and fun. It could be science. It could be social studies. Anyway, we could be doing something around a book. So group learning time, which is usually about 15 or 20 minutes, is centered around that theme. Okay, so with that disclaimer, or with that in mind, I put it on a spreadsheet. I have just the number week that we're in. I write the date that we're starting that week, and then if I assign a letter for that particular week, I write it next, the theme that goes along with it, and then the next 2 columns, you'll notice, are mostly blank, it's because I fill that in as I go along. I don't really need to spend oodles of time at the beginning of my school year or during the summer to plan which books we're going to read for which weeks. I usually do that maybe 1, sometimes 2 weeks in advance so that I can get them from the library if it's like a really popular book. But anyway, so that's where I start in planning our preschool year. So my preschooler really only has 2 manipulatives or 2 objects that we're going to be completing throughout the school year. One of them will be her ABC journal, which I'll talk about in just a minute, and she has her writing folder where the activities in them are going to be writing specific, practicing color, like how to hold a pencil and how to work your letters and numbers, okay? So that's in here. Let me show you what's in there in just a minute. But let me talk about the ABC folder first. So our ABC folder notebooks are interactive notebooks. And I did this last year. I got the idea to do it with my kindergartner for various subjects. And if you watch those videos and you've been following along in my channel for a long time, you know my history of interactive notebooks. But I got smart this year and I built an interactive notebook curriculum for the alphabet that consists of 12 activities this time. When I did it before with my son, we were learning like, you know, all of the beginning phonic sounds, blends and digraphs and all that kind of stuff. And I only made 2 activities and they got old super fast. Did I do 2 or 3? I think I had 3 activities. But anyway, I did 12 this time. And we do 1 activity each day. So in a 3-day school week, that should last me a whole month before we have to start repeating activities. And on top of it, I have countless materials and resources that I have been collecting over the course of the last 3 years or whatever, of alphabet pages that I can also slip in if I feel like I need to. But I spent oodles amount of time building an interactive notebook curriculum, 12 activities for each letter. So we will be doing that, filling those pages. Each day, the students will do 1 activity. This is what we're going to be doing every day. And I keep showing you the front of this folder because I don't have anything to show you. But anyway, so here's an example on the inside. Now, my daughter was only 2 when she did this, so she didn't do it correctly. It was more of just keeping her distracted. But this is a door that they would be able to pick up, and then this goes underneath the door where they have to identify it. Hers are, both of them are upside down. Like I said, I was just keeping her busy at the time. But I don't think I have any other suggestion or examples for you. But when I get that up on my website, then you'll be able to see all of the fun examples that I've got. So anyway, this is one of the good activities. It practices awesome repetition of the letters. It's interactive, so the kids like to do it. You've got, you know, fine motor skills with your coloring and cutting and all that kind of good stuff. So it worked really well with my preschoolers last year, and I got smart and made a plethora of activities this year to do. Okay, the other thing that we do every single day for my preschooler is her writing journal. And this is going to be, here's what's inside. Now, when I did this video for my very first video all those years ago where I was a little bit overly excited and, oh man, it's hard to watch. But anyway, nonetheless, you'll see a lot of similarities because I like how I've set it up and it's worked for me all of these years, so I kind of keep it the same. So we've got the name trace here. It's on in a sheet protector. You use a whiteboard marker and you can trace erase, trace erase. Here's a little tip, word to the wise. If you leave the whiteboard marker on the paper for too long, it doesn't erase as well. It always erases, but sometimes you have to kind of put a little elbow into it. I really like the Crayola brand dry erase markers. They erase a little bit better than some of the other ones, and they come in a lot of different colors, and they're shaped like a pencil in that they're long and skinny. So I like those if you're looking for kind of a recommendation. Okay. Behind those, we have the days of the week. This is a free printable by Confessions of a Homeschooler in her daily learning notebook file. So we've got this, and they do one for each day of the week. Now, when my students start the school year, this is really a rough page for them. They kind of just dabble around and don't exactly know what they're doing. By the end of the year, all of the students can do it. I do eliminate the bottom portion, which is to write the number of the day. So 1 is O-N-E. I don't put that in there, mostly because it's a lot of work to have to switch it out for all of my preschool students. And secondly, I just don't. So it is an option. It is on there. I just eliminate that portion for my preschooler. Okay? Okay, so behind that, we've got the month calendar. This is something that I purchased off of Teachers Pay Teachers, and I'll have to put in the description box below where I got it. Make sure and check that link if you're interested in getting it for yourself. But this is something that the students write the number of the day on the day. So we don't do like 1 to 31 throughout the whole month in one day. So on Wednesday, they would write only the number 1. On Tuesday, they would write only the number 2. And then when they go around, or that's Thursday, you knew what I meant. Anyway, and then when we go around and we meet for school again, then we catch up. So I have preschool Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that means every Tuesday, they need to write the number for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then they start fresh again on Tuesday and write Tuesday. Okay, does that make sense? So they do that, and it practices their numbers. It also helps when you're going along to practice beyond the teens and getting those 20s in, and then the rest of them kind of just fill in. But they can understand a little bit the sequence of those numbers beyond the teens. All right, this page comes next. We do one number each week up to number 20, and then after 20, we go back to the number 1. So here's whatever. This is from Confessions of a Homeschooler. Made this page. And on the first day of the school week, we color in the number 1 and we trace the letters. On the second day of the school week, I give them 1 sticker, or if we're doing if they're doing the number 7, they get 7 stickers, and they put the 1 sticker on there. It's very quick on the second day. Sometimes I let them finish coloring if they wanted to color the outside or whatever. And then on the third day of school, then they decorate all of the white space by writing the number. So they'll have number 1s in all rainbow write. I encourage them to write with different color crayons, and they decorate all around the page. So that's how we integrate this page for 3 school days. Again, the second day is really short, depending on how many stickers the student is putting on their page, but for the most part, it doesn't take them very long for those lower numbers for sure. All right, likewise with the circle, this is also a printable from the Confessions of a Homeschooler Daily Learning Notebook bundle. So on day 1, they will trace the circle and then write the word circle. On day 2, I will have them decorate the page with all of the circles. And then on day 3, I have like magazines or something, and we'll either cut out circles from the magazine. If I have stickers that are circle shape, then we'll put those on there, like smiley faces for circles, or, I have a bazillion stickers. Anyway, oftentimes this particular page only takes 2 days to do, and then on the third day, they just move on to the next activity in their notebooks. Okay, I always put like this little divider tab in here. It helps kind of separate the everyday activities from the 1 per day activity. And these are learning skill pages that I've purchased from a Teachers Pay Teachers shop. This shop is by Amy Nielsen. A Planning Playtime is the name of her shop. I'll make sure and link that in the description box below if you want it. I purchased the entire year's bundle, and she has themed activities for preschool-aged students for the entire school year. So my students do 1 page per day. Again, this is something that you have to train your students to only complete 1 page. Especially at the beginning of the school year, they have a tendency to want to scribble and then turn the page, scribble, turn the page. So if your child has a tendency to do that, you may want to just put 1 page per day into the notebook. But to save on planning time, I put an entire week into the notebook, and sometimes I'll put the whole month into the notebook here. Actually, after like October, I put the whole month in there because they just know to only complete 1 page with a little assistance on some parts. But Anyway, I also am really trying to teach to color in all of the white space, use more than one color, follow directions. Lots of times, especially in the first few weeks of their school life, they want to just color the whole page. So it takes a little bit of direction, following directions, and understanding directions to get them to complete the assignment appropriately. But I really liked this product as well because it starts very basic, and it doesn't start like the September bundle doesn't start with beginning sound activities, and it doesn't start with color by number activities because students can't read color numbers in September of their preschool year, and they can't understand whatever that other example I was. Anyway, beginning sounds. They can't understand beginning sounds at the beginning of the school year. So I do like that this particular bundle I purchased was graduating, I guess you can call it, in that the concepts build so that by the time you're in the May bundle, you are doing some of those activities that kindergartners need to know or should be familiar with. So I really liked that because you're preparing those preschoolers for kindergarten. The last thing for our school curriculum that I've got for my preschooler is I've just gotten her a folder. Here, it's nothing special, but I got her a folder and I didn't do this last year for my other preschooler because he was homeschooled, but I really liked the idea of having a place where my student can put her finished work when she finishes it. All of my other preschool students had a place where they would put their work to take home, so I wanted to have that for my student as well. And these activities range all over the board. There's no way that I could tell you everything that we do over the course of the school year, but I always plan about, it comes about 30 minutes of time to do additional letter practice. This could be like do a dot markers on the letter. It might be like a cut and paste activity or completing a brochure. Other things we do are like art projects that go along with the theme. So if we're studying about the community, maybe we would be making paper bag buildings to build like a community. Or if we're learning about butterflies, maybe we would make butterflies using tissue paper and that sort of thing. Craft projects or whatever also fit into that kind of 30-minute time frame. Anyway, usually the places I go to find those types of ideas are Pinterest. Sometimes I'll just like type into Google Images the theme. So if it's butterflies, I'd put like butterfly preschool activities and just look at the pictures that come on Google Images, and that'll give me ideas of kind of things that I can make. It is preschool, so for the most part, I can look at a picture and be like, those are just popsicle sticks with some paper glued on them. I can figure that out. Sometimes I do have to click on the link, and if it's too complicated, I'm like, I don't have time for that. So anyway, those are where those types of ideas come from. Sometimes we'll like bake things in the kitchen, or anyway, it's just kind of an array of activities. Preschool is such a fun age, and can I encourage you, if it is your first year doing school with your preschooler, not to get sucked into this idea of using a boxed curriculum or using a curriculum set and just tying yourself down with that. I am totally in support of purchasing one. Just don't count that as your whole preschool curriculum and say, oh, we did our lesson for today, so go off and do your thing now, because preschool is such a fun age and the kids just want to explore and they want to be your buddy and they'll do what you say to do. If you've got something fun that you're like, oh, I want to try this, they're so excited to do it and they love to do it and they want to do it. Whereas when they get a little bit older, it's kind of more of a tug kind of a game. So definitely invest in your student's life during this fun period of time when they can and want to learn, and it's just such a great age to have little ones and to teach them and to experience all of these fun things that life has to offer for us. So anyway, off of my little soapbox, that was just the beginning, I guess. But anyway, so I just wanted to share what I've got planned for our preschool year and how I'm planning to kind of execute it, if you will. We've got a first grader and a preschooler, so I'm really excited to see how this year flows. Make sure you tune into Our Homeschool Life, the series that I do each school year, and it comes about every other week where I talk about stuff that we've been doing and how things have been working, what I've been adding or what I've been taking out and that sort of stuff. just to give you a real-time experience of what's working and what's not. And so anyway, hopefully you'll find those things helpful to you. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that if you're interested in following along in our homeschool life. Have a great day, guys.